What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino. We are on episode number 54. 54 of the Only Sports Podcast.
It's a decent amount.
Yeah. Casino, how we doing today?
Pretty good. I spent about an hour and 20 minutes at the park with the kid because she wouldn't stop screaming about going to the park.
Nice.
So that was fun. Yeah. Starting to get toasty in Vegas, though. So,
dude, yesterday I took my kid to the park during the day and it was like 88 degrees and I was sweating my balls off. And I was like, it's going to be 20 degrees hotter than this in like 2 weeks. So This summer's going to be fucking miserable. It's going to be miserable.
Well, look at us being good dads. Look at us like flexing our dad status of taking the kids out.
I know. But this is going to be a good episode, Casino, because everything we are about to talk about today, I am passionately angry about it. So I was going to start with...
And I told you I have a good one for the NHL. So, this is going to be an episode of rants. So shout out to my friend Thomas out there who listens to the show and he likes when we rant. Well, here you go.
I was going to start with the Sixers rant, but I don't want to jump from basketball to football to basketball. So that's a tease. The Sixers rant will have to wait. I have 6 pages of notes just on the Sixers game. And so I'm more prepared to talk about that game than I am to talk about anything we've ever talked about on this podcast because I was losing my fucking mind. But that's a tease for later in the show because first we're going to talk about our favorite sport, the most popular sports, probably the people who listen to this podcast, and that is the NFL. Last night, we're recording this Friday morning. So Thursday night, they release the NFL schedule for next week or for next year.
They did.
And just thoughts on the schedule as a whole, Casino, because I went through it last night and today, and I think I have some big issues with it.
I just sometimes I don't understand what they're thinking when they put a couple of matchups together. I understand a lot of teams, you got to fill some spots, but at this point, the last few seasons, it just feels like, okay, you're just doing it for the TV ratings. You don't give a shit about actual good games. You just want to see blowout shit and your superstars, and that'll be a segue here in a second, your superstars blowing out teams, or you're going to get a good matchup, but it's going to be like a high-scoring matchup because obviously nobody likes – I mean, I like it because I like defense, but a defense battle where it's the Super Bowl for like the Patriots against the Rams, where it was that low scoring, ordeal, but everybody was like, that's a horrible Super Bowl. And I was like, that's a good Super Bowl. So I don't like this. So with that, let's just roll into opening night. I want to.
Yeah. Well, before we get into opening night.
Come on.
No, let's talk about the Chiefs schedule. Okay, and then we can segue that into.
They're going to win the Super Bowl,
dude.
They're going to win the Super Bowl again.
This is the most bullshit schedule for a Super Bowl winning team I've ever seen in my fucking life. These are the teams that the Chiefs play on the road. Okay, these are the teams they play on the road, and then I'm going to tell you the teams they play at home. On the road, they play at Jacksonville, at New York Jets, at Minnesota, at Denver. Let's see, at Raiders, at Packers, at New England, at the Chargers. Any of those besides the divisional games, any of those sound like they're playing their big competitions at any fucking one of those?
Well, I do have a fun take on the Jags, but right now, no. Like, for the most part, no, this is going to be a walk in the park. What's...
Did we already lose Casino?
I did, yes.
Are you back? Okay. I'll cut that
I'm
out.
back.
But so these are the teams they play uh in their stadium casino. So they play the Dolphins in Germany, which is a whole other thing. Like they're playing Dolphins Chiefs at Germany. So we get the Tyreek Hill revenge game in Germany, which is fucking dumb. So I'm not even going to count that as a home game. But their home games, they play the Eagles, the Bills, and the Bengals all at home. All, let's see, they play the Eagles after a bye. They play Buffalo after going to Raiders to Green Bay. And then they play the Bengals after going to New England and then have the Raiders at home. Could they fucking be just handed a more fucking easy schedule? So they start off
For
with
a Super
literally,
Bowl team, for Patrick Mahomes, come on.
dude, look at the fucking, we'll talk about our team schedule. Obviously, I'm an Eagles, you're a Patriots fan. I've looked at our schedules, and I always go by the strength of schedule of like the Sharp every year does the football analysis based on like future win totals, because the NFL bases their strength of schedule off last year's win totals, which we know is never the case because teams change so much during the offseason. So looking at the Sharp football analysis where they're projecting, based on Las Vegas's gambling projections of wins next year for teams, your team, they're projecting, has the hardest schedule in 2023 based on scheduling.
Yeah.
There's
And because
there's
they were so good. It's because fucking Goodell fucking hates Bill Belichick, hates the Patriots, and he could shove it up his fucking ass. I mean, I
but
might as
they're
well not even watch
saying
this season. Might as well not.
they're saying the Chiefs have the third hardest schedule in the league. Fucking how?
Blow it out
How?
your ass.
They get so many fucking scheduling breaks. But let's dive into that week 1 opening night of the NFL. We always have the Thursday night game as the NFL kickoff game. This year, usually, and I have the last 10 pulled up right here, usually it is two teams that maybe have like either an out of division rival, an in division rival, two teams that kind of have a rivalry going for whatever reason in the near past, right? They do like, oh, these two teams had a battle in the playoffs last year. These two teams, like Chiefs and Bengals, Chiefs and Bills, have some notoriety. And then this year, we're expecting Chiefs Eagles. We know they play this year. We know Chiefs Bills play. We know Chiefs Bengals play. So right there, 3 perfect Chiefs Dolphins, right? Where we have the Tyreek Hill whole thing. We have
Yeah.
storylines with all these major games. You could even do a in division game with, nobody's going to complain about Chiefs Chargers. People would complain about Chiefs Broncos, but even maybe Chiefs Raiders would be okay. We get the most random fucking matchup of all time. Lions at Chiefs. What the fuck is the reasoning for this casino?
I told you the reason. It's because they want their golden boy, Patrick Mahomes, who they gave an easy schedule to this year, to win another Super Bowl. So eventually Patrick Mahomes can outdo Brady on the Super Bowl thing and all the awards, which he might hit those awards, just by himself, but the Super Bowls is what it really comes down to. You're basically putting up on a silver platter your boy, your guy. And like he is Roger Goodell's like sweet baby-faced golden child. And I am sick and tired of it. And I have nothing against Patrick Mahomes. I like the guy. I think he's a great football player, fantastic quarterback, and he's a genuinely nice dude from everything that I've listened to, watched, all those things on him, heard stories about. I like him, but I'm tired of them just giving him gimmies. We did think that Detroit's going to be better this year. They sucked in the draft. They didn't get any defensive players, but they even boosted up their offense even more. So I'm excited to see, them throughout the season, but to go up against the Chiefs, I just the Super Bowl champs, I just don't like that. Um, who's gonna watch
No,
that opener? Who's gonna watch
it's
that opener? They
well,
they want high scoring. They want high scoring. They
this is
want
my
blowouts.
this is my issue with, and you just fucking nailed it right on the head. So when it comes to NFL, right? They tailor these type of events to people who aren't you and me, aka people who aren't going to watch it regardless, right? Like we're going to watch it if it's fucking Jaguars Bears on a fucking Thursday night. We're watching it because we like football. These events, much like the Super Bowl halftime show and the Super Bowl in general, is geared towards people who don't watch football, but then go, oh, it's opening night of football. Oh, it's Sunday night football. Oh, it's Super Bowl. Let me watch that because I know it's important culturally, right? Avatar and Avatar 2, those movies are fine. I've never met someone who's like, my favorite movie are Avatar 1 or 2. But everybody has seen those fucking movies because they're cultural things, right? And you want to be in the know, blah, blah, blah. So when it comes to these Thursday night football opening kickoff games, every year they should gear them towards people who don't watch football by being like, getting us football people to be like, oh my God, it's going to be Bengals Chiefs. Like, you need to watch this. And then we're talking to people at work who don't watch football. And then we're hyping it up. And they're like, oh, I'll check that out. I like football. Like, right. So it's that kind of progression. What the fuck? What are you trying to sell when it's Chiefs Lions? Because every football fan's going to be like, oh, yeah, this is like, I keep hearing this where it's like, oh, this is really good for the Lions. This is really good for the Lions. It's really good for the Lions to get blown out by 3 touchdowns on the first fucking night of the NFL. Like, why is that good for the Lions? You just said it. The Lions had the worst or bottom 3 defense last year. They didn't really do anything to improve it. They signed CJ Gardner Green. They got the linebacker in the first round or whatever. So they improved from the 29th ranked defense to the 26th. Like, I don't fucking know, but it's like, there's no storyline here. The Lions weren't even a playoff team last year. Like, what the fuck is the selling point for this? Like, oh man, glad
They
the
want
NFL.
They want Patrick Mahomes to score 60 on him. They want to drop another 50 burger or something on them. That's my fifth hockey right now, and I'll get into my hockey rant a bit. Is here, that, but they want the high scoring games. They want the drama. They are setting it up for it. They don't give a shit about the purity of the game. And I'm not trying to be one of those guys like, whoa, pure games. Yeah. No, like, I don't give a shit about that. I just want the players that are making a shit ton of money to go out there and actually compete fairly, where it's everybody has a chance. That's what you're supposed to do. Is you're supposed to make it where everybody has a chance, and that's when you have good football seasons. And I liked the NHL going into the playoffs because I was like, all these teams are going to be so even. I can't wait for it. And then I've been having issues with, and I'll explain why later. But I'm just so over this narrative of you're doing it for entertainment purposes only. You're not doing it for the actual game. You are setting it up for entertainment purposes only. So like the first game, you're doing it so they can blow them out, and you can be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is out there. They're doing ring around the rosy, silly fucking plays because they're up by 50.
Yeah.
And they're out there being dorks. And then there's your fun talking point. It's going to get frustrating. And I'm tired of a lot of these leagues doing that. And sorry, not sorry, but it's frustrating.
So that is a good segue into, we both wrote down our top 10 NFL games on the schedule we are looking forward to. And I'll tell you what, even if it wasn't opening night, Lions Chiefs was not on my list. And I have a bunch of honorable mentions I'll get to, but I'm an Eagles fan. Casino is a Patriots fan. So how many I put
I'll
purposely
let you,
on my
I'm gonna
list.
let you roll first, though.
Okay. Purposely on my list, I put no divisional games. Like no games of teams that are in the same division
Oh,
because you're seeing those regardless, right? So I put out of division games uh that I'm excited for. Who
you
so
didn't
do you
give
just
me
want
that.
me to
You
go?
didn't give me that criteria.
No, that was just a self-imposed criteria. Because am I excited for Eagles
You need to be
Cowboys?
better than me.
Yeah, but
You just
it's
need to be better than me.
also
It's fine. It's
but
okay.
it's also like I know they're going to play 2 games a year. So it's not like something, you know, out of the ordinary. Do you want me to go through my whole list or you want to go back and forth?
Go through your list. Why not? I'll jump
Okay.
in if I say I like those because I'm kind of. I'll be honest. I'm making my list now because I didn't really have much time to do it. But I like what I have written down so far. But some of them are divisional. So those will be a little different.
So first, these are my honorable mentions I did not have on my list. I'll just run through them real quick. Chiefs, Jets, Sunday night football week 4. Obviously, you get Mahomes and uh Rodgers going at it in New York. That'll be fun. Cowboys 49ers week 5, Sunday night football, and then Cowboys Chargers week 6 Monday night football. So 2 Sundays and then a Monday, just 4, 5, and 6. That's pretty good. Uh Dolphins at Chiefs, I was excited for until I realized it was in Germany in week 9. And now I hate the NFL is going to just add a fucking division in Germany, probably 2 teams Germany, 2 teams London, and then it's just going to be 6:30 a.m. games West Coast, which is fucking awful. Seahawks at
But
Ravens week
so
9.
I agree with you that they're going to make a European division, but where do you even put that? Where do you put that? How do you structure? How do you structure it? Stop watching your
Oh,
game. You're only going to cry.
no, we got some breaking news, Casino. Breaking
Oh,
news on the on NFL. I had the NFL network just on the TV over here.
yeah. He was
The
rewatching the
Washington
Chiefs Eagles game, and he was crying.
Yeah, I think the Eagles got it. I think they got it this time. But the Washington football team, Washington Commanders, has just been sold to Josh Harris. So
Who?
officially, I don't know. I think he owns a bunch of other sports teams. So officially, the worst owner in the NFL is out and he has sold the Commanders. Breaking news that you'll hear 4 hours after we record this. But that just popped up. So next up, I had Seahawks at Ravens week 9. Just kind of an interesting matchup with Lamar coming back, revitalized both these teams, right? Ravens got more weapons. Seahawks maybe have the best wide receivers in the league. Ravens, great defense. Seahawks, hopefully an improved defense.
Right.
Chargers at Jets week 9 on Monday Night Football. So again, we're going to get Herbert Rodgers Monday Night Football. Week 10, Panthers at Bears. That just seems like a weird matchup. Bryce Young, you got Justin Fields week 10. I have a couple of week 12 matchups, Bills at Eagles, and then Sunday night football, Ravens at Chargers. So there's like 6 or 7 teams. I have most of their games on here that are out of divisions because I just like those teams or I'm interested in what those teams are going to be. Like week 15, which I have Eagles at Seahawks, Vikings at Bengals, which I think will be like really damn good. And then week 16, Bills at Chargers and Ravens at 49ers Christmas night. So thank God I think the Thanksgiving games this year are fucking abysmal, but the Christmas games and Christmas weekend games look pretty fucking good. We got Dolphins at Ravens week 17, maybe some playoff implications over there. And then that is all my honorable mentions. So now to get to the list, Casino. My number 11, which my number 10 and 11 are tied. So I actually have 11 instead of 10. Number 11, Texans at Panthers week 8. So that is number 1 pick versus number 2 pick in the draft. I always
Okay, that
like
makes
those
sense.
matchups when it's 2 quarterbacks. So, especially the thing I have noticed going through the schedule, like I did the past 2 days, they definitely backloaded this NFL schedule. There was not many good games until like week 8 or 9. The first couple weeks are fucking brutal. Brutal, brutal. Like they have weeks 4, 5, and 6 have the Sunday night and then Monday night football games, but every other game is just like, ugh, who is doing the scheduling for this? And then you have games like Bengals Chiefs in week 17. Like, why are you holding that out till the very end of the season unless we think it's going to be a playoff seeding situation like last year, which ended up fucking up anyways? So I don't know.
Everybody, yeah.
But tied for number 10, I have Chargers at Jets week 9 Monday Night Football. So we get to see Herbert, we get to see Rodgers on Monday Night Football week 9. So that should be pretty good. I think I might have had that on my honorable mentions accidentally as well. No. Oh yes, I did. So that was actually my number 10. Number 9, Seahawks at Bengals in week 6. That seems like a really interesting matchup. I like
Okay.
two high powered offenses, maybe a little bit questionable defense on Seattle side, and then Bengals, a top 5 defense. So, again, two of the maybe 1 and 2 for the two best wide receiving groups in the entire NFL going head to head. Uh, Number 8, Cowboys at Bills, week 15. So we're going to see Cowboys going up to Buffalo to play the Bills. It's probably going to be snowing. It's going to be week 15. That'll be good. But again, so late in the season. Why are we doing this? Ravens at 49ers, Christmas week 16. I had some on my I just wrote a giant list and crossed them off to put them on here. But I already talked about that. Christmas night, Ravens 49ers. That should be pretty damn good. Number 6, Lions at Ravens, week 7. So we have the returning
Okay.
Lamar, his wide receiver group, the Lions, who apparently the NFL thinks are going to be one of the best teams in the league because they got so
I mean,
many
we thought they
fucking
were going to do much
primetime
better,
games.
but we also thought they were going to do something defensively again.
Yeah.
We thought they would pick up
Uh,
more.
Number 5, only my one of 2 Eagles games I have on this list. Eagles at Chiefs, week 11, Monday Night Football. Again, why this takes place in Kansas City, where Kansas City also plays Bengals at home and Bills at home. Again, garbage, bullshit.
Yeah,
But
no, they're doing it, yeah, because they want to give all the hard games to them at home so Patrick Mahomes can win and win another Super Bowl. And then finally, Roger Goodell can be like, well, he's better than Brady. It's because I'm giving him all the easy shit. And this is not me trying to defend Brady because I'm a Brady guy, I'm a Patriot guy, but I like Patrick Mahomes, but I just hate Roger Goodell, and I feel like he's doing this spitefully, where he's just being completely spiteful and hates Brady so much that now he's out of the league. He's just going to be like, here you go, golden child. I want to get you as many Super Bowls as possible. I fucking can't stand that. All at home. All those games are at home.
dude, it's
Oh,
insane, especially this one, Monday Night Football. So not only is it at home, they get a extra day to prepare, and it's after the bye week. So cool. Like, Andy Reid is basically undefeated in his entire career after fucking a bye week. The Eagles also have a bye after that, but we'll get into the Eagles schedule right after I'm done with this because I don't want to ruin my number 1, which is an Eagles game.
yep. I
Number
know which one it
4.
is. That's on my list.
Yeah. Number 4, I have Bengals at 49ers week 8. So if the 49ers are anything like
I
they
like
were
that one.
last year, and then the Bengals going into San Francisco to play probably potentially the number 1 defense, you have Burrow. I have another Bengals game, which is a Bengals game we've seen many times before, but it never gets old. Bengals at Chiefs, right? My only issue with this is week 17. That is a really long time to wait for this fucking game. Especially if they like meet in the playoffs. So you're playing week 17 and then potentially 2 weeks later. Why would you not try to schedule this
I have a
around
Bengals
week
game
like
on that's
9?
neither one of those though.
Well, this might be the game you have because my number 2, Bills at Bengals, Sunday Night Football, Week
No.
9, the game we were, the game we almost got last year, and then obviously the tragedy happened with Damar Hamlin, and we didn't get to see it. So we finally, hopefully, get to see it this time. Sunday Night Football,
It
Week
wasn't that
9.
one, by the way.
Oh, I'm interested. And my number one game, I'm sure anybody who listens to this podcast for any of the episodes during the playoffs knew my number one game, a game I have told my wife we are going to. I'm going to this game, Casino. I will be there live because the atmosphere is going to be fucking crazy. Eagles versus 49ers in Philadelphia, week 13. The 49ers players and coaches, as late as this week, will still not shut the fuck up about losing in the NFC Championship game. Their coach and Deebo Samuel, independent of each other, were still bitching and complaining about this game as of 2 days ago. Deebo Samuel went on a podcast and the coach was like being interviewed and brought it up. They still won't stop talking about this. It happened in January. It's May. Like, get the fuck over it. And
I think
they
they're going to have a rough
stop.
season because of that.
Oh, they can't get fucking over it. They don't even know.
They won't get over. Yeah, they're going to have a tough time getting over that. The only way they'll get over that, the only way is if they do beat the Eagles. Only way.
The funny thing is, they keep saying like, "Oh, if only we had our quarterback. If only we had our quarterback." They don't know who their quarterback is now, and it's May. So what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know if it's Trey Lance. You don't know if it's Brock Purdy. And then there's all these reports coming out where it's like, oh, well, they signed Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold is actually the best quarterback they have right now. So it's like,
I mean, and we even talked about it. They had that game. They had to keep you off the field, and that wasn't happening. The Eagles were staying on the field.
Well,
their offense was too fantastic that it doesn't matter if you had a good quarterback. And yes, I know that means you probably would have stayed on the field a little bit longer, but that doesn't mean you're going to stop the Eagles. All you're going to do is all you would do is if you stayed out there on offense a little bit longer, if you had a quarterback outside of, Brock Purdy and then whoever the guy, I think Johnson, the dude that came in late for him in that game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because say you did have your quarterback and you're out there, and you're giving your defense some break. Well, you're also giving the Eagles offense more break, and they're just going to run more seam routes on you. So they were going to get beat regardless, no matter who they had. They could have had Aaron Rodgers in there, and they probably still would have gotten beat.
Well, it's also this thing.
And that's the nicest thing you'll ever hear me say about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, the other thing is, and I'm not going to do a whole rant on this because there will be plenty of time for this during the season, but it's this whole Brock Purdy thing. Didn't that one year with Case Keenum and the Vikings, weren't they saying he was now all of a sudden this great quarterback that was going to take this team to the Super Bowl, and then he went into Philadelphia in the NFC Championship and got fucking smoked and then was never the same again? Where is the evidence that Brock Purdy would have done fucking anything in that game? He was in Philadelphia in an AFC Championship game, like the biggest game of his career, and he was getting hit. Like, that's what knocked him out of the game. It's not like he was standing in the pocket and he fucking tripped. He was getting annihilated again. But I will be week 13. I will be in the stands for this game watching it. It'll be my first ever professional football league game in person, and I'm excited for it. And that place is going to be fucking loud as shit. All right, Casino. let's go to your list. I'm all fired up. Go Casino. Do your list.
Well, kind of cheating off of you a little bit. Just saying. I do like the Cowboys Bills that you said in week 15. I'm not going to give them going in a certain order. I'll tell you the ones that I like the most as we get closer to it. But again, I was unprepared. I spent an hour and 20 minutes at the park with my kid today, and I couldn't get her to leave. So that's why I'm a little behind. But I do like that Cowboys Bills. I think any team going up that late and where it's going to be cold as shit and probably snowy is always fun. And it will make me really laugh that the Cowboys are going to go up there and not going to be able to do it. And they'll probably be right on the cusp of making the playoffs again. So I'm really excited to see that. The Eagles Chiefs, of course, rematch Super Bowl. That's high up on my list. You want to see that. I want to see Jalen Hurts come out there and absolutely smoke the Chiefs.
Especially in prime time, Monday Night Football. It's going to be like the only game on. Yeah, that's going to be a
right.
good one.
And I know you're off Mondays and I work Mondays. You need to come down to my joint. We'll watch that. I'll have the game sound on and we can just scream at the TV together.
I will be at the Eagles bar. I already know it. I already know there's certain games I must be at the Eagles bar. This is one of them. It's going to be insane.
All right, whatever. That's fair. And then you were mentioning it. It's high up on my list. I really want to check out that game that you're going to go to, the Eagles 49ers week 13. I'm tired of the chirping. Like, I'm not even a fan of either team. I don't give a shit about either team. None. I mean, I like Jalen Hurts and go Eagles for you, but I don't really give a shit, and I'm tired of the chirping. Just shut the fuck up about it, Debo. I liked you. I liked you a lot. You're making me lose. You know, your credibility is just diminishing because you keep talking about it. Be a grown up. Be a grown up. Be a professional football player, and just be like, I got beat, and it was nothing on you. It was nothing on you because, like I said, no matter who you had in there, yeah, you could probably scored a couple more points, but the defense, or not the defense, the Eagles offense was too good. It was just too good. Good luck. And the Eagles defense was pressuring you too much. So I'm just kind of ready for that scenario to be done. Get them a quarterback. I want a trade or something. Tom Brady come out of retirement, go play for the 49ers for that game, just for that single game, and learn that Patrick Mahomes on a loan. I don't care. Patrick Mahomes on a loan to the San Francisco. And I still think the Eagles would beat San Francisco.
Yeah. And we're going to see.
Gotcha. So a little lower on the list, but I don't know how many that is. I think that's 4 now. But I'm just going to round out the games that I like. Baltimore, Cincinnati. You did not have this one. Week 2. Why I'm excited about this one is you have a high-powered Cincinnati, and I want to see what fucking the Ravens can do against a fantastic team after this whole fucking shabacle. I want to see him earn his goddamn money. I want him to run all over Cincinnati. I just don't know. I just don't know if he can do it. I just don't know. I think that now he's gotten paid that he's just going to sit back and not care because you see that with way too many quarterbacks. So we're talking about Lamar Jackson. I didn't specify, but yeah, Lamar Jackson. I really want to see him get out there. I'm over it.
This podcast has weirdly turned us both into Bengals fans. I think you and I both root for the Bengals, and I'm not sure why.
Well, I mean, I know why. It's because they got the coolest cat on the fucking field, Mr. Joe Burrow, and that is a reference to his college days as well. There you go.
He is cool. He is cool.
Dude, he is so badass. He's just a skinny white dude that walks around smoking cigars all the time and it's like, hey, I played professional football. I'm pretty good. It's like, I like you, man. I like you.
And unlike unlike Mahomes, he doesn't have an annoying brother or like a loud wife. He's just like he goes on podcasts and he's just like, yeah, I like football. And then you're just like, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I do like week 3, Buffalo versus Jets. I want to see what Aaron Rodgers can do against the best team in the division. I want to see that. I want to see how he can handle handle that pressure against the team that's, again, they're right there with winning the AFC. Obviously, we know who to be this year. It's the Chiefs by a mile. The Chiefs are going to win the number one seed by a mile. They're going to win the Super Bowl again by a mile. Um, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. That's my pick. That's my pick. The Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl unless the Eagles get back there, and I think the Eagles could take them in round two. But it might be a repeat of the Super Bowl. Be honest.
I
To
mean,
absolutely be honest.
I could see that because there's nobody in the NFC
In
that
the
really
NFC, no,
yeah, like
jumps
jumps
off the
off the
page that I
no.
mean, there'll be some tough teams, but you have a clear top two in the Niners and the Eagles, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't believe you didn't say that you're excited for this game, the Pats Eagles, Week 1. How are you not excited for that? So,
Eh,
I mean,
I mean, for this podcast, I'm excited for it. But
I'm excited
yeah.
for it in the fact, I mean, that's just going to be a fun one because Brady's supposed to get retired, um,
See,
all
that's
that,
the
and
thing. If this was Brady Patriots against Eagles week 1, I'm all for it. That's a top 5 game. Mac Jones Patriots. Yeah. Did you just go on mute? Did you unmute you? You muted yourself.
I don't know why. I guess I did. I didn't mean to press that. Here, I'll move it on. I have it on the quick trigger just so I don't know how that. Anyway, I am excited for this. Just on the standpoint of you and me,
Yeah.
and the Eagles fans are going to try to go into Boston and razzle dazzle Brady from the fan, from the seats, and so that'll be fun.
I
Um,
do think it's funny that they chose to retire Brady against the Eagles, where it's just like, could you pick a worse fan base to try to honor an opposing player? Like, I know it's going to be in New England and probably 90% New England fans, but it would not shock me if it's like 70-30 and you just hear a smattering of boos. It's like, why are you doing it here? Why are you doing it now against
that's
the Eagles? I don't
yeah.
know. That's just a weird choice,
Um,
but
so I've got I'll name three more that I want to see, and one of them, I mean, they're fairly earlier. Like so, week 3, Chicago Chiefs. Why I'm excited for that is because I really like what Chicago has done in the offseason. I really think Justin Fields is a decent quarterback. I want to see what he does against top talent. Um, so a lot of my games are because I want to see what players are going to do. I want to see what teams are going to do now, restructured a bit. So I'm excited for that one. Of course, week 4, KC Jets. That's a gimme. That's a gimme. You
yeah.
want to check that out. And then so I'm going to leave you with this. And a lot of them have the Chiefs is because I want to see how teams match up to the Chiefs. Because obviously
Yeah.
that's
And
the
they're
bar.
they're the clear
Yeah,
number 1
that's the
team in the
bar.
league.
Jaguars. I'm excited for the Jaguars this season because they got better. Again, they constantly have a fight in them. I really like Lawrence. I think he is a quarterback that doesn't give up. I mean, we saw that in their comeback game last year. I really like them, and I want to see him go to the Chiefs. Or not go to the Chiefs. This is in Jacksonville. Chiefs got to go there. That will be tough. I want to see that because the Chiefs are going to be high on the mountain after beating Detroit. I think that's a trap game early on for them is at the Jaguars. Also, the Jags, they have a lot of their big games at home. Another one is they've got the Niners after the bye week. Their bye week is on the week 8, and then week 9. Yeah, I think it's week 9 is their bye week. And then they have San Fran on week 10. And again, that's in Jacksonville. And I think some of their bigger opponents, I think they can surprise them. I really do. I like Jacksonville this year. I like what they've got going on in the run game. I think this could be a trap team for a lot of the major teams out
Hmm.
there that are going to overlook them. That's my take. I like the Jags this season to be like the number 1 trap team for contenders.
So that being said, so obviously schedule plays a big part in the reason the Eagles got home field advantage last year was because the way their schedule worked out. probably why the
Mhm.
Chiefs end up winning this year is how their schedule works out. So that being said, based on the NFL strength of schedule, and again, I'm doing by the sharp one, not the NFL projected one, but
Totally.
these are the top 10 teams with the easiest schedule. Which of these top 10 teams do you think will benefit the most from having the easy schedule and the team they have? Okay, so I'll just read them off from order from 10 to 1. So number 10 is the San Francisco 49ers, and they have the 10th easiest schedule mostly because of the division they're in. Like the Rams and Cardinals being so bad bumps their strength of schedule
Helps them up.
down.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you have the team you were just talking about, Jacksonville Jaguars, then the Detroit Lions, the Tennessee Titans, the Houston Texans, the Chicago Bears, the Indianapolis Colts, the Carolina Panthers, the Falcons, and then the Saints. So let's break it down in these two. The first five, the Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Colts, Bears, in that order, have the easiest schedule. Which of those teams do you think makes it? I'm not saying they win the Super Bowl, but makes it to the playoffs based on that schedule.
Can you
One,
say it again? I'm
two,
sorry.
any of them.
Say it one more time.
So Saints have the easiest, Falcons, Panthers, Colts, Bears.
Bears.
I think so too. I
I mean,
think
that helps.
Bears.
I think they're going to be a decent team this year, and having a bit of an easier schedule. I like their odds. I like where it sits with them.
So their projected win total is 8. Do you think they'll win more or less?
More. I think they'll be a
I do
9 or
too.
10
They won 3 last year, but if we remember right, they were in
in
pretty
every
much
game.
every game. Yeah.
Every game.
I really do think the two teams in that mix are the Bears and the Colts, just purely based on their schedule being easier and their divisions they're in are kind of wide open. Like, I mean, you agree. I agree with you with the Jaguars as well, but everybody else in that division, like, what even is Tennessee now? Derrick Henry, the
Right.
wheels are going to
No
fall off
idea.
eventually, and
No,
then
we and you got Tannehill Jr. So
yeah.
check
And then you
that
have
out.
Anthony. If Anthony Richardson is good right now, and if he even plays like Justin Fields, where he just uses athleticism, like they could be a 8, 9, 10 win team vying for like a wild card. But I really do think I agree with you where it's the Bears really feel like they have the potential to be uh the division winner. Like, the Packers, who knows what the fuck they're going to be with Jordan Love. The Lions are a big question mark as well. And then the Vikings, the Vikings feel like, well, last year they had the exact opposite thing of the Bears where they won every close game they were in, right? So if that pendulum swung, they could have easily had 6 wins instead of, I think they finished with what, 11 or 12? Like, yeah, so I don't know. Bears, and then we'll go 6 to 10. Texans, Titans, Lions, Jags, 49ers. I think both of us, no matter how much shit we talk about the 49ers, we still think they're going to be pretty damn good. Like
Oh yeah.
they're going to be a top 3 team in the NFC because the NFC is weak. No matter what quarterback they have, that defense is going to win them minimum 3-4 games. So, and obviously they have competent quarterbacks who can at least hand the ball off to McCaffrey. So I think 49ers. And then if you had to bet money, do you think the Lions or Jaguars finish the year with a better record?
Jags.
I think I agree with you. Uh the Detroit Lions are projected to have 10 wins. The Jaguars are projected to have 10 wins as well. I don't think either of us would be shocked if both those teams ended with 10 wins. And then, like I said earlier, now we go to the hardest. Hardest is your New England Patriots, then the Bills, then the Chiefs, which we both just talked about is fucking garbage because of how that schedule is. And then Raiders, Dolphins, Commanders. So you got to feel bad for the Commanders and Raiders. Like, what the fuck did they do to earn the hardest schedule in the fucking
Well,
league?
also, what did
But
the Patriots do? The, the
yeah.
Patriots got their fucking ass kicked last season.
Well, let's segue.
I mean, they were the 4th place division team, man. Like, come on.
Yeah. let's segue to, we'll talk about our teams and then we can get into other shit. So looking at your team's schedule, Casino, do you think it merits being labeled as the hardest schedule in the league?
I think so. I think so, especially from the fact that they lose a home game because of the fucking international series, which
Ugh,
I fucking can't stand it.
yeah.
So yeah, I 100%. I think the Patriots at least bottom or top three hardest schedules. And this is not me trying to be a biased Patriot fan. You don't even give a shit about the Patriots, and you're like, holy shit. I I don't fucking like it. I'm pissed. And then how in the hell again, it's 100% bias on who they want to get to where they want. They want the Chiefs to get up really high, and I'm sorry, I hate Roger Goodell so much. He absolutely hates the Patriots. He can shove it up his ass. Oh man, Roger Goodell, if you're listening to this, I hope you do take this podcast and shove it up your ass. I'll record outside your ass. I don't give a shit. You fucking douche. Sorry.
uh, so for your,
I'm a little angry though. I'm a little angry. I think the teams that we're playing are fairly difficult, and I was from just the look of it, I kind of skimmed over. I know which teams we're playing, but a lot of them are away, and I just against the tougher teams. I don't like the fact that we're losing a home game. I hate that.
yeah,
Um, I,
I'll tell you what,
I hate the
for
international. I hate the international games.
yeah.
They make money over there, but it's just like, oh look, you got teams. I don't care. I have a lot of friends that I've met through my travels overseas, white collar problems. And while I was overseas, that you're not gonna. Yeah, okay. I was waiting for a giggle on that. I'm trying to keep your joke going. And they don't give two shits about American football at all, at
Yeah,
all.
it seems
Nobody
like a
cares.
weird,
Almost
yeah.
every person I've met over there, and we're talking a few handfuls of people that I've got to like really know on my travels and stay in contact with. None of them give a shit about American football. None of them, and they're sports
uh,
people. They
yeah.
they just American football.
But looking
Sorry,
at your
I
schedule,
so yeah, strength of schedule. I fucking can't stand it.
I really do think, and this is why I don't think the Chiefs have that hard of a schedule, because it's when you play the hard teams and when you play them compared to when you play the other hard teams on your schedule, why your Patriots have the hardest schedule is this first 4 weeks is a fucking murderer's row. They
It's
go
a gauntlet.
Eagles, Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, Cowboys. Like you start against the Eagles, which we debatably the best team in the NFC. Then you play division rival Miami, who always at least gets one on you every year.
Yeah, and
And
at least
then,
this is in Gillette. At least
yeah.
it's in
And then
Foxborough.
you play two road games where you get Jets, you get at New York and then at Dallas. So against the Jets, obviously we think are going to be much better than they were last year, but they still had a ferocious defense last year. The Cowboys are going to be a top 5, top 3 team in the NFC. And then you
Yeah, and the
get,
only reason the Patriots beat the Jets last year is because they had a shitty quarterback that tossed 4 interceptions a game to the Patriots. So
yeah.
Rodgers won't do that. He might give up one, but
And then you're going to play versus New Orleans, which is an easier game, but still, New Orleans, again, hard hitting, good defense. Then you get a little bit of a break where you
it
play
doesn't
in
get decent
Vegas.
until week 9,
Yeah.
in my
Then
opinion.
you play at Vegas, but we all remember what happened last year at Vegas. So nice that we get a repeat of that. Then you're playing versus Buffalo. So those first 7 weeks, like it's like fuck. And then you go to Miami, and then you get thankfully some reprieve for you go versus Washington versus Indianapolis, but Indianapolis, the game is in fucking Germany. And then you get a bye week. So you get a little break right there. And then you come back and it's literally you finish week 12 to week 18. Giants, Chargers, Steelers, Kansas City, Denver, Buffalo, Jets. That is a fucking dear Lord.
Yeah,
Dear Lord.
I know.
Dude, a playoff team. The Steelers, who were one win away from being a playoff team. Kansas City, Super Bowl champions. Then you get Denver, probably much better than they were last year with Sean Payton. Then you go Buffalo Jets, again, probably 2 playoff teams. You literally end with potentially what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 playoff teams back to back to back. Like, I'm sorry, Casino. That's fucking rough.
It's
No
gonna be a
wonder
tough
you
one.
guys have said are deemed to have the hardest schedule. That's fucking rough. And then with the Eagles, we'll touch on it lightly because we're kind of going long on this. But
Kinda. We
so
definitely are.
we start at Patriots, which I hate doing an opening week 1 at an opposing People's Stadium, but whatever. Then we open our home game Thursday Night Football on a short week already. So fuck are we doing? But then we get a long week and we go Monday Night Football. So that's not too bad. So the opening I'm not mad about, right? You get Patriots, Vikings, Bucks, Washington, Rams, who I think the Rams are still this year going to be a fucking dumpster fire. And then you get Jets, Dolphins, Commanders, Cowboys. So I would not be surprised if we're like 6-3, 5-4. I'd be fine with that going into the bye week. But out of the fucking bye week, look at this fucking schedule. At Kansas City, then you get the Buffalo Bills. Then you get the 49ers. Then you go at Dallas, at Seattle, and then you come home for, 2 Giants games and a Cardinals game. But for that fucking 5 weeks, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, Seattle. Like most of those games on the road. Dear Lord.
No,
Lord.
yeah, because they don't. Roger Goodell does not want anybody besides his golden child to win. No, he doesn't.
Let's see. Your team plays what? We said 7 playoff teams in a row. My team plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 playoff teams in a row. So thanks, NFL. Thanks for fucking over the Only Sports Podcast. Again, all I hope
he heard
for
my
is
Roger. He already knew that I was going to do a Goodell rant, so he was like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Let's fuck his team.
As long as either of our teams, or really any team, is not fucking injury bugged, I am fine with whatever happens. I have no hopes for the Eagles going into this season because I don't know what we're going to be.
So it was last year.
Yeah. But it's also that thing where it's like the 3 years after winning the Super Bowl were worse than winning the Super Bowl because then it was just our entire team was injured for 3 years in a row, and then they would still get to the playoffs and barely lose. And that was much more heartbreaking to the soul than the Eagles winning the Super Bowl was cleansing to the soul. So just please don't be fucking injury bugged. Football gods, please. All right. We've gone almost an hour, Casino, just talking games
I don't got
from
too much longer.
6
I got
months
maybe a half
hour. You know what? This is I'm not even going to do my full fucking 76ers rant. I'll give you the reduced version of it, which is I wrote down, and I'll just go through this quickly, Casino. I don't know if anybody watched the Sixers Celtics game last night.
I did.
Maybe one of the worst basketball games I've ever watched in my fucking life. Just from the game ended like where each team had barely scored 80 points. Like just abysmal. A fucking abysmal game to watch. So instead of recapping the whole game, because we are short on time now, why don't I just, I don't know, start with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Casino, and let's just go from there. So at this point, Doris Burke, the hot Doris Burke, I'm all about Doris Burke. Only thing me and Drake agree on. She's banging. At this point, There's a graphic on the screen that says the Celtics have had 18 turnovers in this game, the most in any game by any team in this postseason. So you would think, the Celtics have turned the ball over 18 times. It's by far the most compared to any other team in the playoffs. They must be getting blown out at this point, right? No, a smart person would think that, but these are two dumb teams playing. So that's not what happened. The hot Doris Burke makes it known, 18 turnovers. The lead has never been more than 2 between these two teams. Okay? And she only meant the Sixers because at one point the Celtics were up by like 10 in the game. But up until this point, the Sixers have not led by more than 2 points, despite the Celtics almost having 20 fucking turnovers. So 5:30, the score is 83-81. Okay, again, after 18 turnovers, the score is still 83-81. What happens? Embiid misses a shot. Then it's a block on the other end that they get the ball back. Maxey goes down the court, shoots a 3, misses. Harden, the Celtics go back down, miss. Harden comes back down. He shoots a 3, miss. Doris Burke says again, a full minute has passed. No more than a 2-point lead have the Sixers had this entire fucking game. Next comes down. Tatum hits a 3 at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Up until this point, he had been having one of the worst games an NBA superstar has ever had.
For sure.
I believe he had 6 points and he'd missed like 10 straight shots or some bullshit like this until this 4-minute mark. So all of a sudden, Celtics 84-83 after a Tatum 3. He was like 0 for 8 from 3 before this shot. Goes down the court. Embiid double teamed, misses a shot right underneath the rim, goes back the other end. Tatum shoots a 3. It's 87-83. And now Doc Rivers called a timeout. I want to shit on Doc Rivers. This was the right call. If he didn't call a timeout here, I would have lost my fucking mind. Okay? So then they get the ball back. 3 minutes left. Maxey shoots a 3. Not only does this 3 miss, this 3 misses the entire basket and it's an air ball. Okay? 3 minutes left. He shoots a 3 that is a fucking air ball. Does not even come close to hitting the backboard. Next up, Tatum hits like a fadeaway 2, or he attempts it and he misses. Goes back down. Maxey gets fouled. He misses 1 of 2 free throws. It is now 89-84. Okay? There is Smart in the paint. He gets the point that puts them up 89-84. Then PJ Tucker in the corner misses a 3. Do you see what I keep saying, Casino?
Yes.
The Celtics keep missing. The Sixers keep getting rebounds, and then they keep just jacking up 3s when they're up by 1 point, and then all of a sudden they're down by 5. Does not change. Keeps jacking up 3s. There's this, maybe the moment I threw something in anger, when Harden is trying to drive up the paint, he trips over his own feet and then just throws the ball in the air and then tries to act like it's a foul. They call it for a foul. They review it. And then in slow motion, you see, and the announcers are even like, nobody touches him. He just falls. So Harden, with 2 minutes left in a 4-point game, falls down in the paint and then throws the ball to the other team. Cool. Next up, they get the ball inbounds. Desperation shot at 3. Let me take a guess what shot it was, Casino. It was a 3-point shot just to try to beat the fucking clock. Again, Tatum hits another 3. He'd had 6 points up until this point. He hits another 3. All of a sudden, it's an 8-point lead. They were up by 2 minutes ago. Now it's an 8-point lead. And then, where's my last piece of paper here. It's a Harden miss at 131. It's an 8-point lead. Harden just missed another fucking stupid shot. It is 1 minute, 31 seconds. Any person watching would be like, they still have a chance, right? This is basketball. You can foul, it stops the clock. That 1 minute and 31 seconds can turn into 5 minutes of actual basketball, right? Where you still have chances. The entire Sixers team, and by entire Sixers team, I mean Harden and Joel Embiid, two MVPs, one the reigning MVP of the fucking league, are just walking down the court and no urgency whatsoever, just walking down the court. And then the announcers say, the Sixers look like they've given up. You have to have a lot of confidence to go into Boston in game 7. And it's just like, yeah, the fuck are you doing? There's a minute 31 left and the team just gave up. Maxey, most of the reason why we're in this situation, because he just keeps jacking up threes with no help whatsoever from fucking Embiid or Harden. Harden doing just dumb shit down low, and Embiid completely disappearing in the fourth quarter. But 108, Harden falls down again, throws the ball, and then we find out, in the fourth quarter, Tatum had 16 points, and the Sixers, I believe, had 19. And 4 of those points came from, I'm sorry. Philadelphia had even less. In the fourth quarter, they had 13 points. Okay? None of those points, or I believe 2 of those points, came from either Embiid or Harden. Harden finishes the game 13 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Embiid finishes it 26 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. None of it comes in the fourth quarter. I just want to remind everybody. Maxey finishes 26, 5, and 3. But here's the stat that made me want to fucking gouge my eyes out. Okay? Casino, 3-pointers for the 76ers. They shot 34 3-pointers. How many of them do you think actually went in? You're on mute.
I already know the answer because I have the stats up right here.
They shot 34 3-pointers. All 30 of them apparently in the past fucking 4 minutes, from what it sounded like me reading. They were 8 for 34, which is a 23% free throw or 3-point percentage. They were
23.5. Come on, give them some credit. Give them the 0.5.
The Celtics were 15 of 35 with a 43% 3-point advantage. The Sixers shot more free throws. They were out-rebounded like a motherfucker by 12 rebounds. They had the same assists, same blocks, 7, double the amount of steals that the Celtics had. And then they turned the ball over 6 less times. Points in the paint and fouls were basically even. So,
well, I mentioned to you last episode, any team pro basketball team that shoots under 40%, they're going to lose. They shot 36%. The Philly did. 36%. I mean, Celtics weren't great, obviously, and the score shows it. They were only 42%, but still 36% as a professional basketball team with the reigning MVP, and Harden, who's known for, putting up a lot of points. Like, yeah, absolutely crazy. Crazy.
But I mean, let's do a little math right here. Instead of, let's say they shot 10 fewer 3-pointers and instead converted those to 2-pointers, or let's just say they made 8 of them, right? So let's say they made 8 2-pointers. That's 16 points. So what is more, Casino, in the game of basketball? 16 points or 0? Which number is bigger? Because I believe it's fucking 16. What is this fucking obsession? This obsession with fucking NFL or NBA teams that just need to attempt 3-pointers. Unless you're the Golden State Warriors, and on most nights, even the Golden State Warriors miss most of their 3-point shots, play in the mid-range and get fucking 2-point shots. You lost this game by 9 points, but when this game eventually turned to where it was unwinnable is when you missed 4 3-point shots in a fucking row. You have the MVP in the middle of the field. Pass it in the middle of the fucking court. Pass it to him, and then all he has to do is jump and get near the basket. Odds are he's either going to make it or get fouled. Would you rather attempt to win the game that way or by putting up contested threes when you're up by 2, you fucking morons? What the fuck are you doing? It's game 6. You're at home. You are getting every fucking turnover in the book. The star player on the other team has done nothing. Nothing. No one on the Celtics is beating you. You fucking idiots. Jason Tatum finished with 19 points. He had 17 of those in the last 4 minutes. Everybody else, Marcus Smart had 22, Brown had 17, and then Al Horford played 40 minutes and had 2 points. My mouth is foaming at the minute. What the fuck are you doing? Hey, the most overrated coach in NFL history, Doc Rivers. Why don't you fucking talk to your team and be like,
NBA.
Hey, dipshits, stop shooting 3 points. We're up by 2. You have the MVP in the middle of the fucking court. Go up the middle, you fucking idiots. Ugh. And they put up all the time. They put up Doc Rivers stats. I mean, I guess he's a great coach. He only had a super team with 3, MVP caliber, top 75 all-time NBA players, and he only ever won 1 NBA championship and then never came close again. He has as many losses as he does wins in the postseason. I guess that makes you a good coach. Fucking morons. And now they're going to go, and we can segue right here. They're going to go into game 7. They're going to go into game 7 and get blown out, much like the fucking Suns did in Denver last night. That's my fucking Sixers rant. You fucking morons. What a stupid last 5 minutes of basketball. You all played because you're fucking dumb. James Harden, MVP of the league, tripping over his legs and then throwing the ball in the air. Like, I watch my son, a 10-year-old, plays basketball every weekend. I've never seen that play for fucking 10-year-olds tripping over their own legs and throwing the ball in the air. Ugh, my computer screen is covered with spit. Just covered in it. Ugh, you fucking idiots. Idiots. Ugh. But now, Casino, the other game that happened last night, much less to get mad about because it was fucking over in the first quarter. The Denver Nuggets blow out the Suns. I mean, the game ended 125-100. At one point, I believe in going into halftime, the Nuggets were winning by 30 points, and it felt like they won this game by 45. The fucking Suns were done. After the first quarter, Denver was up 44-26, and then Phoenix never scored more than 24 or 25 points the rest of the game per quarter, I mean. So, yeah.
How bad is Devin Booker when it comes to game 7s in his career, in elimination games, dude?
Well, yeah.
It's 2 years in a row now where he just game 6, but still, elimination game is what I meant to say. I did say that, but yeah, so I did correct myself. So you know what? Yes, game 6, elimination game.
I can't see but you on my screen because there's so much spit.
But it was same as last year as well. Devin Booker just disappears in his elimination game. He's got no fight when it comes to it. I did not like. He was awful, especially in that first half. He wasn't even present.
Oh yeah, he played
awful.
He had 12
Talk
points,
talk yeah,
1 rebound, 8 assists. Ugh.
talk about a as an you need your, like, number 2 guy, number 2, number 3, wherever he sits. He's not producing. Like, where's your energy? You're in an elimination game. It's either win and you continue or lose and you go play fucking golf. Figure it out. I did not like it. I think
Well,
he is a big reason. But you know what? I don't think they can't move off of him. I don't think the Suns can
oh,
move
no.
off of him next year. So
Well, no,
they're going to have him.
we talked about how great he's been this entire playoffs. Remember when they played the Clippers, he went 38, 45, 30, 47, 27, 35. Or I'm sorry, he went 47 the last game against the Clippers. And then in this Nugget series, he's been really good. Damn near great almost every game. He went
Yeah, and then
27, 35, 47, 36,
but then
28.
I said,
But
can
then
he sustain? Can he sustain? When he needs to show up, will he show up? And he did not. And this
no,
is
he
2
was
years in
4
a
for
row now. He has not
13.
been in
4
elimination
for
games.
13 from the field, 12 points in 36 minutes. Yeah, he had a bad game. And then on
Yeah,
the other end, I mean,
it's
you
a
had
trend. It's a trend
Jokic.
with him. It's a trend with him
Yeah. And then
going into
Durant.
elimination games. Yeah,
Durant was fine in that game, but he was not obviously at the level he needed to be. And he was pretty much the only one trying to do fucking anything. They did get a good game out of Payne, their guard, but yeah, without Booker and Durant both going off in these playoffs, as we've seen, especially against this Nugget team, like you're not going to win when Booker only puts up what fucking 13 points. I think we said,
right.
or 12 points. Yeah, but then on the other end, you have Jokic putting up a triple double, going 32, 10, and 12. Then you have Murray, which Jamal Murray, the emergence of him in these playoffs has been fun to watch. For some reason, Jamal Murray is my 10, now 11-year-old son's least favorite player. I don't know why. He just doesn't like his face. I don't know what that means, but
Yeah,
that's what he told me
that
when I asked him why he was his most hated player. I like him though. So my son's wrong. I'm sticking up for you, Jamal Murray. But I think at this point in the playoffs, and then obviously tonight, we're recording this Friday afternoon. In 2 hours, it's game sixes that I think both close out tonight, where we have Heat, Knicks, and then Lakers, Golden State. I think it will be the Lakers winning tonight.
I think Golden
Going
State
to,
pushes it.
I
I
mean,
told
I
you that.
hope. I want as many game sevens as we can get, except when it's fucking my team. But uh Warriors or Lakers, I think whichever one that is, you go into Denver, which is going to have the number 1 seed, and then if the or no, since the Bucks are out, the Nuggets are going to have number 1 seed throughout the playoffs, including the finals. I really think the question mark going into this was, can Jokic show up in the playoffs? Not only has he
And he
shown
has.
up, he's been maybe the best player in the playoffs, right there with Jimmy Butler and a couple other names you could throw in there. But I think debatably, maybe not even debatably, he's the number 1 player in these playoffs. I think right now, with all the teams left, I would put all my money on the Nuggets winning the NBA championship. I just don't think I think they're so much better than every other team right now. It's crazy. The East, I mean, I don't even know. We can lightly touch on Knicks, Heat, Warriors, Lakers. By the time you hear this, the games are already going to happen or already be happening. But you think the Warriors force game 7, and then do you think the Knicks or Heat win tonight?
I think the Heat closes it out at home.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I told you, I think the pressure might be too big for the Lakers. They've struggled even against the Grizzlies. They've struggled a bit at home, taking them into like OT and getting a lot of help from the refs. I want to see how that'll happen, and I'm trying not to be that guy where I'm blaming the refs, at least not in this sport, but I'm gonna. That's a whole hockey rant, which I don't think I'm going to be able to get to my hockey rant. We might have to save that for another time. We might have to do a small episode tomorrow. Not sure, but yeah. Where was I? I'm not used
Talking
to
about
talking.
Warriors, Lakers.
Yeah, I'm not used to talking. You've been talking this entire podcast. Um,
Well, I came
so,
prepared. So that's
well, I
probably
mean, even
why.
if I was 100% prepared, I'm prepared for NHL. I wasn't prepared for the NFL that much, but
Hmm.
I'm prepared for the NHL. But guess what? I just don't know if I'm gonna ever have that time to talk because you know, no, fuck you. Because even if I was fully prepared, trying to stop you is like trying
I
to stop a
mean,
fucking freight train. You just fucking can't.
we're
I've
wasting
known you
time
for
here,
way too.
Casino.
Yeah, I
We're
don't care.
wasting.
I don't care. Like I said, I'm not going to get to the NHL today before the wife gets home and that is crying and the dogs are barking.
Ugh.
So it is what it is. So now I'm just going to fill it in and let you breathe. And I'm just going to start talking random things. I'm like, hey, look, I'm looking at my bookshelf. Hey, look, I'm looking at my TV. Okay, so what are we talking about again? Oh yeah, Golden State. I really do think is going to
I
come
do feel
out and
refreshed.
win this. What's up?
I, I do feel refreshed. I needed to get. I had all that pent up inside of me, and then I
I know. And
exploded it.
normally, and you know what? Normally, I'm the only one that has to hear it. Like just
Yeah,
by myself, but now we have the podcast and you have to have other people suffer as well with your rants, but
that's
it is
true.
what it is.
Now you know how my
But no,
wife
I
feels.
I do know
So
how I was your first wife.
that's
Uh,
true.
but I mean, anyway, no, I think the moment might be too big for him, and especially if there's some fair calling tonight, I think the pressure might be too big. I like this as a trap game for the Lakers going back into Golden State. I know Golden State's not been good on the road lately or the whole season. It just is what it is. But I have a feeling they could pull this off. Will I be shocked if the Lakers win at home? No, no. But I do. If I had to put money on it, I would go with Golden State tonight and
Hmm.
force a game 7 and win in 7. I think Golden State advances out of this series because the close games that have been close have either been won barely by the Lakers, so not, there hasn't been a blowout, and then the refs. That's my opinion, and that's sticking to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but yeah, I think the Heat close out.
I agree with you. And I think this is one of those things where I believe it's on ESPN tonight, not TNT, but
No.
TNT might mention it. ESPN never will. The refs have played such a weird position in this game or in this series where last game where the Warriors won 121 to 106, the fouls were 18 to Golden State versus 17 to the Lakers. And then we saw Golden State won that game, right? Like pretty handily. That game was never really in question. The Lakers had a couple surges, but yeah, they basically held the Lakers. They beat them in the first half and then kind of just held on to the lead throughout. But yeah, this game, a game 6 in Los Angeles against this Warriors team, and then we have to talk about this, Casino. Did you see the thing with Steve Kerr coming out and saying, oh yeah, the Lakers, like they basically do anything for calls, like they're flopping around out there, right? Claiming that wasn't the exact quote, but basically his quote was
Yeah,
claiming the Lakers are a team of floppers. Did you see LeBron's response?
no,
Because I have it right here.
I don't follow
This
social
is
media, so
why this is peak example of why people hate LeBron James, and I cannot defend him. I do not hate LeBron James, but
oh, I
this
do,
lack of
I do.
self-awareness
This is probably
and
gonna make me hate him even more. Just add it to the list. I'm
right
sure.
here. So Steve Kerr's quote was, I give the Lakers credit for the plays they have been able to sell. Okay. Which people watching this series, you know what that means. Everybody knows the context, but he kind of said it in a sly way. So you're like, I get what you're saying. And I fucking agree. This was LeBron's response. It's actually, I've never been on any team that I've played on in my 20 years where we have been a flopping team. Go to YouTube right now, click search LeBron flopping compilation, and you will find endless videos, some 20 minutes long, of all the LeBron James flops, and that's just him. The Miami Heat days were the fucking worst. That team, I forgot how many like egregious flopping calls they got. But his name is not, the people don't call him LaFlop because he's done it once or twice. That is a tool in his arsenal that he knows he gets the call. Good for him. He knows he gets the call. It doesn't mean it's not fucking annoying to watch, or NBA basketball players or coaches can fucking bitch about it. But the lack of self-awareness is why most people hate LeBron James, and I cannot defend him against those. But Casino, that is all I had to say. Are we doing a part 2 tomorrow?
Yep.
All right. So part 2 tomorrow, we will talk about obviously the NBA games tonight. We'll touch on if the Lakers can beat the Warriors.
Probably like a 30-minute segment tomorrow, something like that.
Yeah, we'll do a short little part 2 tomorrow to dive into all the hockey, talk about the 2 games tonight, and then we'll be back tomorrow. This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm
with
Will.
And with Will.
Yes. Casino. All right. Adios. A man of the people.